Alright, start of VOD review for Widowsensei. You're currently on red team, going against blue team. You're playing on Rialto, and you're playing Widowmaker. I'm going to watch it through one time first, just to get an idea of how the game kind of went through, and then after that I will point out your major flaws throughout the second watch through, and then for the finally I'll let it play out again with my final synopsis of your overall gameplay and what you should improve if you want to get into either a higher rank or continue to climb an SR if you do win this game.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
I can't wait to see you all in action.
Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming.
Enemy side moving the
Escort the payload. Watch It's just a scratch. You'll be fine. Name.
Heroes never die.
I've got you in my sights.
Attention aux humilités. Just what they needed.
Pass into the
Огонь по готовности!
keep the payload in motion.
A legend falls. Payload on. No one can hide from my sight. Damn.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Honor. Guardian with it.
This is not. Essayons encore une fois.
New objective. Get the payload moving.
Healing enough.
Don't worry, my friends.
Now you have my attention.
Zarya online. The payload sold. Get it moving. Огонь по готовности.
Got you in my sights.
Où en étais-je?
Barrier active.
Heroes never die. Nano boost at
I'm
minute.
adjusting the payload.
Unstoppable.
Let's keep it moving. Nothing's gonna stop.
60 seconds.
No one can hide from my sight. The enemies of Talon will be eliminated.
Lifting off. Adaptive circuits engaged. Reinhardt. Personality mode. 30 seconds. Огонь по готовности. Shot behind them.
Attention.
Enemy
No one can hide from my sight.
60 seconds remaining. The payload is approaching its destination. Thirty seconds remaining.
My warrior spirit
Did that
10 seconds remaining.
We're out of time. Attack.
Огонь по готовности.
un petit cadeau pour toi?
Score 0-2. Switching sides. Initiating match.
One shot, one kill.
Statistically speaking, I usually get most of my team back alive, but who's counting?
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
I salute you. I live for a good fight.
Reinhardt, I must say you're looking quite well. The slide must agree with you.
And you are looking as lovely as ever.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Don't worry, my friend.
Stop the payload. Capability increased.
Take your medicine. Enemy contact.
Let them up.
Double kill.
No one can hide from my sight. Fire at will. Où en étais-je?
Adaptive circuits engaged. Zarya. The payload has reached the chip.
Attention où tu mets les pieds.
Personality duplication.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard. No one can hide from my sight.
Healing it up.
Un petit cadeau pour toi.
Watch for that sniper!
them up.
Everything can be hacked, and everyone. I might need this later. ¿Extrañaste? Iniciando el cable. Translocating.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Winston. That probably hurt. Team kill. Victory.
All right, that was a bit. That was a big hectic in the last portion of it, and y'all did end up losing. So now let's go back and let's kind of overview what I saw as particular problems that you really need to fix if you're going to want to climb to the next rank, basically. So first of all, let's go back to the very beginning here. Let's go all the way back.
Ready for battle.
So
One shot.
the first mistake
kill.
I would say that you made was, let's see if I can find
Ready
it.
for battle. One. Ready for battle. Attackers incoming.
I think it was right after this.
Escort the payload.
Like this right here. Okay, even though you're missing a lot of shots, this is still overall alright, because you're not really having too much focus fire on you. Nobody's really looking at you. This is perfect for you to be able to just look straight down mid and then just take the shots that you can and then get kills, right? This is perfect for you. You are in no way in danger where you're at right now. The Echo can contest you, but as you can see, she is attacking your Winston and Diva and not really paying too much attention towards you. So this is perfect. Is a perfect spot for you to be at. You want to just keep looking down mid here and either waiting for somebody to peek the corner for you, or just watch people that are attacking your tank or attacking your supports, and then basically just try to pick them off before they kill your tanks or supports. See, now you did get a bit overly aggressive there because your Ana actually died before somebody on their team died, right? Your Ana actually died before anybody on their team died, and you pushed forward. You grappled to the high ground, because you can see Ana's coming back from spawn. Like, she's really right there on your left side. You can see her. She's coming back from spawn because she died early fight. She got booped off. Y'all did end up killing one person, I do believe, but I don't think it was like super important to their actual team setup. Hold up, just to be sure. Just to be sure, I'm pretty sure that the person that died wasn't like super important to their actual team setup. Let's go look back. Let's figure out who was the one that died.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
So let's see. It should happen like right about here, because this is where the Ana gets booped. Boom. Okay, so their Zarya died. All right, that's pretty huge for your team, right? But at the same time, when your healers just died, so right there, she just died, right? So even though they're down a tank, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should be free to push here, because since you have less healing, your tanks are going to be a lot less effective on front line, as you clearly see, because whenever you push forward, look how fast the rest of your team is dying. They're dying really fast because they still have both of their healers, but you only have one healer, which right now y'all are running Ana Mercy. Y'all are running Ana Mercy. Okay, so y'all are running Ana Mercy right now, so it's even less healing for your team, because Mercy can only heal one person at a time. So, as you saw, your team died very quickly. So, pushing aggressively here probably wasn't the best play. So, this kind of set y'all back just a little bit, right? This kind of set y'all back just a little bit. I think it set you back like another like 30 seconds to like the next fight started. So, you dodge all this, you get out, and then you come to bottom corner here. Okay, this is not a bad spot to be for right now, right? This is not a bad spot to be for right now. But the moment you peek this corner, right, they know where you're at. The Zenyatta knows. The Zarya knows. The Lucio knows. All three of them know exactly where you're at. Because as you saw, they were all firing at you before you got into cover, basically, right? Before you got to this position, they were all looking at you. So for you to just peek this so openly and so casually while your team is still dead. Look at the top right of your screen right now. Your Diva's at a mech and your Mercy just died. You are peeking this so casually even though your team is losing the fight. I get it, you're probably trying to look for a pick, right? So you can start getting the team fight moving again. But you got to realize, as a Widowmaker, your job first is to see how your team is doing, then act accordingly. So if your team is losing a fight, as a Widowmaker, it is your job to get the hell out of there. Don't stay in the fight because you will die quicker than anybody else on that team because you are one of the easiest targets to dive currently in the game. Because your cooldowns are incredibly fucking long. So what you want to do at this point is not peek here. Okay? Holding here is fine, but peeking while your team is currently down is not fine. Especially since you have no shield. Right? The only person that can save you from damage right now is that Diva, and she's at a mech. So peeking here is not great. But you stay here anyways. And your team starts dying more. Right? Your Diva just died. She's no longer at a mech, she's just dead. And now the Hog and Zen are both looking directly at you. So you shoot here, go back into cover, then jump out, because now you're pretty far distance from where you were. You jumped out because you think your team is back into a fighting position because you see your Genji and your Ana. But your Ana is half health with Discord on her. And as you can see, the enemy saw where you're at. That's why you're incredibly low HP right now. You're in the danger of dying right here and just setting your team further back. But you continue to look here. But now you're just trying to hide behind different cover. Your Ana died. You peek again. Shoot, even though the Zen is charging shots right in your direction. See all those? That was the Echo and the Zen both looking at you. Look at that. You're still peeking in this bottom spot. So the biggest problem I saw with you while playing this entire time was mostly positional errors, right? Positional errors, and also it's gonna sound really weird to say, really sound really weird. It's gonna sound really like demeaning, but missing very easy shots. I know I'm a GM player, and you know my aim is probably a lot better than your aim, but you are missing probably some of the most basic shots. And I think it actually might be because your reticle is too big. I think you might actually have a too big of a crosshair, because the crosshair that I currently have on my screen, right, is you see is a pink crosshair. This is one I actually use for Soldier. I don't really use for Widowmaker, but I don't play Widowmaker on this account, so the crosshair you mostly see is for Soldier, right? I have a pretty big crosshair because I just want to know I'm in the center of their body. But as Widowmaker, you want to know you're in the center of their head. I think your reticle is too big, so you think you're on their head or even on their body, but you're shooting above them instead of actually shooting on them. So that might be something you might want to look into, and actually making your reticle actually smaller so you can be a lot more accurate, because where you're shooting is not correspondent of where the crosshair is, clearly. But yeah, those are the two biggest mistakes, and we're going to go over all the mistakes that you'll see that include positional and missing easy shots of what I see, right? So this right here is really bad, by the way. Like I said before, this is really bad. Actually, probably the best thing you could have did here was probably go back to this high ground up here, right? Because it's free, right? Only person who can look at you is Echo, and Echo is way the fuck back here. right? And Soldier obviously could look at you for a little bit, but you know, his focus, his attention is right now on your tanks, on the front line. Like right now, they're looking at you here, and you're in a very dangerous spot for a Widowmaker. Being here on this high ground is very, very beneficial for you, because not only does it actually give you free peeking range like this, right? You peek, you see them, peek, you see them, peek, you see them. Down here, it's a lot harder, man, because you're having to whole peek this entire corner until you're able to see people. Like, it's really hard for you to see people at this range. Very hard. But up here, it's a lot easier, man. You got to take advantage of high ground. And you do actually grapple, right? We're going to see you grappling right here. Watch. You're going to grapple. But you grapple to... Oh, come on. Still fighting here. Still shooting while you're on low ground. You got one pick. I saw that. I saw that you did get a pick on the Echo. But you got to realize that that shot would have been a lot easier for you if you were up here. Like, you're literally basically in the same spot, just, you know, down and not elevated. But you see, you grapple to this high ground. See, now this was the other mistake that I saw you do quite a bit, actually. And that was you, hold up. Fuck. You like to go to high grounds that give you very minimal, sightlines. Like, actually give you very minimal sightlines on your enemy. Because, as you're going to see, when you turn this corner... Right, hold up. When you turn this corner, you're looking down at this, and you're cutting yourself off from most of the fight. Most of the fight is happening on the right side of that building, or right behind that building that you are currently aimed into right now. Most of the fight is on the right side of that building or behind that building. You cannot see most of the fight from this angle. It is really, really hard for you to see most of the fight from this angle. Like, it's super hard. Like this is a really bad angle for Widow to be sitting at. As you see, while you're doing it too, you basically see nobody in your way. You see, you just stood there for a long time because you just did not see anybody that you could shoot at. Or that Zarya was like being blocked by specific obstacles that were in your way that are not destructible. So that silent is very bad, right? Very, very bad. I believe you do. Yeah, you do peek this. Peeking and ulting Soldier is not smart as Widowmaker, because he can just straight look at you and just laser you, just free. You got lucky that the Mercy was actually paying attention to you and actually trying to heal you at the same time so that you wouldn't die. But peeking and ulting Soldier is usually not the best idea. You actually would have died there if you weren't being healed. So you drop to low ground and you try to go to this high ground, even though your people are dying still. Again, it's a very big problem I see with you, is that you're playing very overly aggressive even though you're losing the fight, right? And you make some pretty decent shots here, but you do miss the ones that matter. Like that second shot onto the Soldier would have been huge. See, that's what I was talking about. Like that right there. That exactly right there. See, I don't hold up. Let me rewind it just a little bit. But that exactly right there is what I was talking about. Hold up, let's see if I can get the exact moment this happens. So, it's right here. Your aim, right here, you go up, you shoot him, okay, then you aim it again, and then you shoot. Your crosshair is nowhere even near him. You just shot a black wall right behind him. And then you do it again, I believe, right? Right on this Echo. Oh no. You kind of adjusted your aim there, but you just kind of shot too late, I think. From the way I was looking at it, looked like you shot above him. And then right here, you do the same exact thing. You shoot above him. Your crosshair is literally not on him, like at all. Like you completely miss. You need to, again, I'm telling you, it probably is because your crosshair is just way too big. It's probably way too big and you need to make it way smaller, man. Because you're aiming so far above their heads, it's so weird, man.
We still need you.
And yeah, those shots kind of mattered. That right there, that was a bit more fidgeting instead of just taking your time to take that shot. Because if Zenyatta is not even moving, he's just kind of like spamming shots down, you could have took your time and easily got that shot. Remember that in console gaming, it's not as important to be fast, but to be more accurate. That's about it. In console gaming, it's a lot more about being accurate than being quick. Because the people are going to have the exact same amount of reaction time as you do. So if you can just get those accurate shots off, in fact, being the most accurate Widow compared to being the fastest Widow in Overwatch right now, especially on console, is way more important. Like way more important. If you're more accurate with your shots rather than being fast, you're gonna win most of your games because you're mostly gonna be hitting headshots, or at least hitting your shots in general, actually doing damage. So when you're missing these shots and doing no damage, you're providing no value as an actual character. And when it comes to one-shot characters such as Widowmaker, you kind of have to hit them. Like, don't try to be the fastest Widow. Try to be the most accurate Widow. I always say that. Always, always say that. Try to be the most accurate, not the fastest. But yeah. That entire sequence, and here you go again, playing more aggressive. Like, you already lost this team fights, but you decided to grapple forward. You decided to drop. You do kill the Echo there, but Again, with sightlines. What are you providing in this sightline? Zenyatta could way easily kill you. Way more easily kill you than you could kill him, Zarya, or Soldier. Like, they're all very grouped close together right now, and aim assist is a bitch on console. Okay, it really is, because in specific situations like these, the aim assist is going to drag on the Zarya because she's closer, even if you're trying to shoot the Zen in the back. So if you try shooting the Zen in the back, it's going to aim assist on the Zarya, slowing your aim, and you're going to miss the Zen. So this sight line right now, really bad. That other sight line right behind you, on the high ground right there on the left side, really good. But this is just really bad. You should never be here, especially on low ground as Widowmaker. It's very dangerous for you. That Soldier could easily just look at you and then melt you right then and there. Zenyatta could look at you and melt you right then and there. Zarya could look right at you and melt you right then and there. I mean, you do have grapple hook, but you got to realize these guys do a lot of damage, especially if they discord because they have Zenyatta, and Soldier can easily just helix. So you gotta think about the enemy's damage a lot more than you think about your own damage. That's just how you should play Overwatch in a whole. Because any other, okay, so I'm telling you right now, any other player in any other rank or higher rank would have killed you right there, or killed you right here.
A legend falls.
This is mostly alright. Because you're actually playing according to how the team is working right now, because the team is working forward and you're trying to make sure that you can get more kills so your team can continue to move forward. This is okay. This is really good aggression. This is good aggression. There's such thing as bad aggression, like what we just saw before, and this is good aggression because you're making the front line for your team. You're playing at a good position. You got cooldowns out of the wazoo. Your hook is getting off cooldown literally right now. So if that Echo decides to dive you, you literally back up, turn away, grapple out of there. You're perfectly fine. You're in a good position right now.
No one can hide from my sight.
shot a literal lamp right there. But yeah, again, good aggression. You know the team is coming back from spawn. You use your infrared to know where the team is immediately, and then you kind of pick them apart as you see them. This is really good. But now is the time to move the fuck back.
Lifting off.
This is really the time to start moving back.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Honor.
Now, what you're doing right here is really bad. The high ground that you were just at was perfect. You actually had complete sight range to everybody, and they have to look at you through 2 different fucking high grounds, or they have to look at you through an overpass and through and under to be able to see where you're at. You have perfect vision through all of them because you're already looking that direction. Coming up here is really bad, especially since they have a Lucio, Ana, and Roadhog. All 3 of them could easily just look at you, sleep, anti, boop you off high ground, or even hook you. Like, getting any closer to the enemy team as Widowmaker is not beneficial. You do not want to be closer to them at all. There's no reason for you to be this close. There's no reason. Your damage drop off is not as bad as you think it is. It really isn't. It has to be up to 60 to 85 meters. You're nowhere within the range of 60 to 85 meters, and that where you were just sitting. And as you see, the closer you actually get to them, harder they become to aim at. Because that Ana should have been easy pickings, but it's super hard for you to aim at this range because I think you're not really good at aiming while downwards. I don't think you're really good at aiming downwards. And you also another thing is that head height range, right? That was another thing I also saw, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But head height range, you kind of need to know what head height range is, and you need to always either aim at it or below it, never above it, because flicking down is a lot harder than flicking up. Just a fact on controller.
This is not.
Again, our team has lost this fight, but you continue pushing forward. You're trying to get into their back line to do something, but Lucio sees you, and you're low HP, and you run to the enemy team, and then you die. See, the correct thing there probably would have been to just either A, hide on high ground in the far back right, like the far right of the art museum, right? Hide in the far right until your Ana comes out of spawn. She can just start shooting at you and getting her charge and keeping you safe. Or go far right, drop, then walk across and then hook to the other side. Don't walk across bridge. Just walk across to where you can hook onto the other side. The other side of the building is so you can pick up the mega that's right there in the fish market, the fish mart. So that could have been played a whole lot better if you actually would have just backed off instead of going forward. Forward is never the way to think, especially when your team just lost the fight.
Reinhardt at your service.
Adjusting angle of attack.
Essayons encore une fois.
New objective. Get the payload moving.
Healing enough.
See, what you did right there was very dangerous. That hog almost hooked you. Like, that was really close. He actually almost hooked you. I mean, obviously, since this is a lower rank game, he's not probably paying that much attention to you, right? Because, lower ranks, they don't tend to pay attention to that kind of stuff. But that hog should have hooked you. You're standing in the open. You have no shields on your team. None. You have only Reinhardt, and I believe he's behind you right now. He's not even in front of you. So, he could have easily hooked you there. Very easily hooked you there. I would have had no issues. And you would have died instead of getting that kill on the Ana. But you did, so.
Let's get you back in the fight.
Your Ryan died. You're pushing forward. And these are the shots I was talking about. This Zarya is not looking at you. The soldier is not looking at you. You were missing these very easy shots. Zarya does not have that small of a head hitbox. She really doesn't. She actually has a larger head hitbox than most hit scan players. So if you can easily hit the heads of Echo and Ana and Soldier consistently like you have throughout this entire game, hitting Zarya head hitbox should be very easy for you. But you tend to miss those shots when they really matter. Because at that point, your team was losing the fight, so literally the only way you could have turned that fight around was if you double dinked that Zarya and then dinked that Soldier, right? That's actually the only way you probably could have turned that entire fight around. But that's only in the perfect world, and that did not happen.
Now you have my attention.
Zarya online. The payload sold.
So now you're coming back. Missing. 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 But you hit that. So, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you're hitting probably some of the hardest head hitboxes, but you're missing some of the easiest ones, which is, I just find that very odd. In my opinion, I just find that very odd. Because you could easily just be aiming slow, or, you know, not even slow, but just at a good enough speed to where you can catch up to their head, and then just, bam, shoot their head. Again, you don't have to be quick with Widowmaker. Especially if you're the one dominating and you're the one hitting all the heads. Just hit heads. Don't think about being quick until after you perfected hitting every head. Yeah, see, you missed 2 shots on a hog. Then you hit him. Then you miss. Then you miss. And good thing you pulled out here, but you died. But you probably could have went to that little alleyway right there quicker. But you know, Soldier melting down. Nothing you can really do about it. This is very interesting. See, you just got hit by the Zenyatta, and you kind of just move to like the right a little bit more. People do this a lot, is that they just tend to just stay in the same spot and then just kind of move a little bit. What you could have did instead of doing that was maybe drop. You could have dropped back, right? Because like coming back here and then just sitting right here. It's not a bad spot, right? Because you know the Zenyatta at least is up there, right? And killing Zen is pretty huge. None of the other parts of the enemy team could shoot you from right here. They literally can't. They could never be able to see you. They couldn't hit you. You know the Zenyatta's up there. You could just drop, ask for some heals. Maybe your Ana turns around, shoots you, and you just kind of take the Zen's heads off. I think you still do, but you kind of just put yourself in a more risky situation. Is all I'm trying to say. Oh no, you don't. Super aggressive here. See, you kind of do like a whole repeat of what you just did, right? That got you killed. You pushed forward, and then ran back.
No one can hide from my sight. The enemies of Talon will be eliminated.
Lifting off. Adaptive circuits engaged.
You missed that shot.
Reinhardt.
That was one of the best examples of an easy shot you could have hit, but you were trying to be too quick and you missed it. That Lucio was only 1 HP. One shot off of him would have deleted his ass. Doesn't matter if he was even a half charge shot. It literally just deleted him. You were trying to be too quick with your aim, and you missed it. You could have shot him before the Ana threw the nade, and you would have killed him. So, again, that's a really good example right there of, like, you trying to be too quick, and you just missed that shot. That was such an easy, like, fucking right off the book, bam, dead shot. But you're trying to be too quick. Again, it's not that important. You need to be more accurate than being quick. It's just a fact in Overwatch that if you hit more of your shots, you actually climb a lot faster. See? Right there. Why were you able to double dink the Zarya like that, but you weren't able to do it like that was like one of the weird that was like one of the weird moments I had with you where like you show incredible moments of aiming when in fucking high intense situations, which doesn't make any sense. You should show that throughout the entire game, man. Like this right here is a high intense situation and you're carrying right now. You should have been doing that the entire game. Like I feel like you can. I feel like you seriously can carry an entire game because your aim overall is okay. Because you're hitting the difficult headshots. You just need to be hitting more consistently the easier headshots. And maybe slow your aim down a little bit. And then just try to hit heads the entire time. Instead of missing as much as you are. Like that's probably all I would really say that you really drastically need to improve on. For you to hit really high. Is just the aim on easier head hitshots, and then your positioning. Really, that's truly all it is. But we can continue here. See, that was a really good example of that. You should have just dropped backwards instead of dropping into the front of their team. You could have dropped back and then maybe hit around that corner and survived because your team is there and they could have been able to heal you. But since you were so far pushed forward with your team, you kind of just died. Be res here.
No one can hide from my sight.
Also, you do something right here that I find very interesting that I don't think any other Widow player would agree with how you position yourself here, but you do something very interesting, and that's that instead of trying to go back to get to a much safer position to snipe at with the Widowmaker, you move into probably one of the most riskiest spots as Widowmaker. That's only really will see value if you have incredible aim. Because yeah, you are seeing the back of their heads and you can easily shoot them and kill them, but only if you have really good aim should you even suggest even being at that spot or being there. And you just kind of hang there for like most of the game and just do nothing. So we're about to see that in a minute. So you take their spawn, right?
30 seconds.
You hesitate to shoot on the Ashe at all. This is 30 seconds till, you know, the point's being taken. You kind of have to have some bit of damage output going out here so that way you can, you know, help your team. Kill yourself, please. Sorry if I sound a bit tired. I've just been doing a lot of shit today.
Did that
10 seconds remaining.
And you are just not really doing anything here. You're just kind of running away, right? You're not really benefiting your team by staying in this position. I mean, the enemy team isn't really acknowledging you, which is crazy. And that proves to me that this is plat or diamond because, again, in any higher rank, this would never be allowed. You would die almost instantly from being at this position because you are vulnerable. You have grapple hook to get away, but how far is that going to take you? Not far enough. You're very vulnerable here. Again, the only people I've ever seen taking these spots are a couple of my friends, but they have ridiculous aim. Like, they have insane aim. Like, they just, as soon as they get that spot, 2 people drop on the enemy team. 2 or 3 people drop on their team. And then we just win the fight. But you being here, it's not good. Because, like, you're hanging back here way too long. You should not be back here this long, and you're going to get punished for it.
heroes never die?
And you move into the middle of their team. You didn't even take the shot when you had it. Again, sorry for the yawning. You didn't even take the shot when you had it. There was a Ash right in your crosshair. Reinhardt's shield dropped, and you could have took that shot. Always pre-fire. Always pre-fire. Like that's like one of the biggest things I could tell anybody is that if you think somebody's gonna peek, and again, this is another thing, we're gonna see this again, and in another scenario where I'm gonna tell you that you should have just pre-fired, and then just move to your next target, because that is another thing that's very important with Widowmaker is that you don't necessarily have to be constantly putting pressure on like one person the entire time, because you could just leave them with the sense that, oh my god, that guy's just straight looking at me, right? Because they don't know. They're behind a cover. They don't know that you're still looking at them. They don't have fucking spider eyes. They can't look, or they don't, they have like spidey senses, right? They can't like see past the fucking rock. They just know that you shot them once and think that you're probably still looking at them. So it scares them. Especially in lower ranks, they just kind of get scared of this. So what you could have did in that situation was just pre-fire, right? Even if you didn't know if you were going to hit her, pre-firing would have been perfectly fine there because you had a fully charged shot. Why not? And then, you kind of run away here. Your team starts losing and starts dying, and that's game. Or that's the round. Now, y'all get beat pretty quickly, right?
0 to 2. Switching sides. Initiating match. Ready
One
for
shot,
battle.
one kill.
Ready for battle.
And you are looking as lovely as ever.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
So, you do dominate the Widow here. Like, this positioning is not bad. I mean, you are taking your time trying to look at one person rather than looking at the enemy team. But since you do get the kill, it's worth it, right? It's a worthwhile attention grabber. But you running forward instead of going to your left to just get out of sight line of this echo is, again, it's just your mentality right now is not the greatest because you're not thinking about all of your surroundings when you're getting attacked. You're just thinking, holy crap, I'm getting attacked, gotta get out of here, right? But as you start to climb up in ranks, you kind of need to start pathing your escapes. Like, this is just very important in general. I've been hammering around this like bit by bit. But this is a very good learning lesson for plat and diamond players in alike. Planning your entries or planning how you're going to attack is just as important as planning to escape or planning to defend. It's very, very important. So your plan should have been that if you got that pick on any person of their team, and then you started getting dived, or you started getting attacked, your immediate thought should be, go left. Go to the left, and get out of range of them, to where they can't see me. Instead of moving forward into where more of them can see me, and then I'll die because I'm low HP, and I don't know if my team's going to heal me quick enough to where I'm going to survive this. So you get immort, right? You get pretty lucky your team is actually looking at you and, you know, being aware of where you're at. Again, that sight line. Now you're looking at it from the other angle, and it's not good. It's not pretty. Now, this is what I was talking about. Look at where your crosshair is right now. It is above the enemy head by about 10 to 15 pixels. It is way too high. It is way too high. Head hitbox range, you should know. Or, you know, head height, you should know. Or if you don't know, make a good estimate that and then lower, not higher. Because as you see, you're going to miss the shot here, and it's bad. Miss. Right? Now you're uncomfortable in an uncomfortable position because now the entire team is looking at you. You could have killed that Echo. But, you know, you're too busy looking at the Widowmaker and not the Echo, which, you know, is understandable. But, aiming to somebody who's behind a shield as Widowmaker is kind of pointless. You should never be looking at a shield as Widowmaker. So that's why I was saying you could have killed that Echo, because the Echo was nowhere even near the shield. You always want to aim at people that are not anywhere in range of shield at all, especially as Widowmaker, because you are not a shield break. You cannot destroy shield fast enough for you to do damage past it. So you should never be looking at a shield. But you continue to peek this, even though you have no shielding. You have nobody in front of your face protecting you.
Let them up.
Okay. Here is not bad, but not good. You could make a play here, and it'd be huge. If you got, while doing this, 2 kills, right? Because right now the enemy behind her is hammering down with low HP. If you got 2 kills, let's say you kill that Zarya and you kill that Reinhardt, you win this fight. But it's very risky because your team is currently stunned and can't help you. So it's all up to you at this point. It's all your aim. And you choose to drop. Rather than staying on high ground and then firing down at them, you choose to drop behind them.
Double kill.
So your team has completely lost this fight now. Because you only got technically 1 kill. Because the other person was already killing the other person. And just killed him off after you tapped them. So right now you're in a losing situation. Very much in a losing situation.
No one can hide from my sight.